Hi guys, this week on the Real DVD Watchers I'm reviewing the 2008 horror slash coming of age movie, Swedish film, by Thomas Alfredson. It's also based on a book of the same name. Sorry, I got hiccups, this is going to be a really hard review to do. It's Let the Right One In. As you can see there, this is the Blu-ray version of the movie which I watched. This movie is, like I said, a kind of coming of age movie about a 12-year-old boy called... This is going to be really hard. About a 12-year-old boy called Oscar, and he's kind of like this outsider. He lives with his mum. He's bullied at school, and he's kind of got a obsession, kind of like a morbid obsession with like murder and death and things. And he keeps like a scrapbook of newspaper articles about people dying. And he has this knife that he carries around with him, and he kind of fantasizes about taking revenge on this gang of boys, or in particular this one boy who bully him at school. Anyway, a man and a young girl move into the apartment, I guess, next door to him, and this girl, she's kind of this mysterious girl called Eli, and she's a kind of romance, I guess, friendship kind of thing develops between the two characters, and it's kind of about her, well, both of them really, about their relationship and what they mean to each other, and she kind of helps him overcome the bullies, and at the same time, as the movie progresses, you find out that there's something a bit mysterious, something strange about this girl, and you probably know, if you've heard about this movie, that it turns out that she is in fact a vampire, and you've got the whole other part of that movie as well, which kind of is strange, because the whole vampire thing about this movie isn't like the main focus of the film. It doesn't focus on the fact that she's a vampire, it focuses more on the friendship and the characters, and she just happens to be a vampire, and the effect that has on their relationship. There's another character who's kind of her. When Eli moves in next door, this man is living with her, and in the book, which is based on, is he is a ex-teacher who was fired for being a paedophile, and he, in the book anyway, as far as I know, he is paid by Eli to go out and kill and drain the blood of people, and the same thing happens in the movie. Now, it doesn't mention that he's a paedophile or whatever, and in the book I think he was in love with her, and that's kind of why he wanted to do those things, but you kind of get the same impression from this. When he goes out to kill some people, he actually ends up getting sort of caught, and it leaves Eli in a position where she has to kind of fend for herself in a way, and that's another side to the movie as well. Anyway, this movie is amazing. Straight off the bat, I'm going to say it's incredible. It's just such, in my opinion, this is a perfect movie. It is that good. It is Swedish, so therefore it's subtitled. It's not one of those movies that you're going to find yourself bored watching. It's something that just, every scene in this movie for me was perfect. I loved every moment of it. I really did. I don't honestly think there was anything that I could say I didn't like about this film, other than the fact that I felt it was over far too quickly. But that's more a compliment, I think, to the film, because I didn't want it to end. Not that it felt too short. It kind of has a satisfying ending, I think. It falls just under 2 hours long, and it's a movie that you're not going to notice the time at all. It goes by so fast. It's just wonderfully paced. It does. It doesn't throw you straight. It's one of those movies that goes along at kind of a gentle pace, I guess. Particularly at the beginning. With Oscar and him first meeting Eli, and there's this whole thing about puzzles and stuff, and it's just really, really good. There are a few different perspectives from the movie, which I think is the same as the novel. You have this other side story about this group of characters, they're sort of parents who are kind of worried about the situation that's going on with these people being killed, and you have that kind of side story as well, which is really great because it complements the main story. And one thing I really want to mention about this film is the soundtrack. It's got an amazing score, particularly some of the stuff towards the end is just really amazing. It's really beautiful. It complements the film perfectly, and it's just an amazing horror film. I think a load of horror sites gave this like #1 horror film of the decade, which I completely agree with, because it's a horror movie that, in a world of like remakes and stuff that seem to be coming out now, and on the similar point, this is being remade, and first of all, they've changed the title, which is ridiculous, to, I think it's called Let Me In or something, which, the whole title, if you don't know, Let the Right One In is actually a play on a Morrissey song, the title of a Morrissey song, and that kind of is lost in the American version, and it's really good. What was I saying? Yeah, it's just different. It's different. It's a very different type of horror movie. It has this independent feel. It kind of got really famous just because it's so good. You know, you've probably heard of this movie, and if you haven't seen it, you should go out and watch it. I was put off watching this mainly because I'd read so many good reviews and I'd seen the trailers, and I was so interested in seeing this film, but never got round to picking it up. And when I did, I was really worried that it wasn't going to live up to the expectations that I had for it, but it did totally. And I can happily say I would give this movie a 10 out of 10, which I think is the first 10 out of 10 I've given on the Real DVD Watchers. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for me. Perfect film, loved it, and I highly recommend it to anyone who hasn't seen it. It's one of the best looking films I've seen on Blu-ray. It's amazing. You should go and watch this. Let the Right One In. Awesome film. So go and watch it. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.